Welcome to René of Paris. Today we are talking about, if you were, first of all, in honor, if you will, in honor of Breast Health Awareness Month. Today we're going to be talking about your journey to wigs. What do I do? How do I get started? Because it can be very confusing. And if you know anyone, you want to tell them we're on now. This is wonderful for chemotherapy patients. However, this is wonderful for anyone who really needs help, who is new to wigs, that needs guidance. Right now would be the time to tell your friends to jump on. I'm gonna, as we wait for people to join, I just want to let you know, first of all, that I am the educator for Aderans Global. I work with the wonderful social family. Alexander is our lead stylist and wig designer. Abby is our she's one speaks from alopecia and her life with alopecia. Everyone that we have here is so wonderful. I speak as an everyday wig wearer. However, if you haven't heard, it's worth repeating. When I was 27, I lost my hair. I was 27 years old. I could count the hair on my head, and I've always had stomach issues. I was lost, completely lost. And I'll make it quick. I was a traveling photographer, but my experience with hair loss and the stylist that worked with me at the time was horrific. So I did something about it. And I've taught classes for 32 years, and this is part of the content that I share every single time I teach a class. So we're very, very thankful for René Paris. I have wonderful wigs today. At the very end, I'm going to show you 3 of the wigs that every time that I'm sitting with someone, it doesn't matter where in the United States, these wigs people want to try on. This is hair that people so the very first thing that I'm going to start with the very first thing that I would suggest, if your doctor tells you that you're going to need to be looking for a wig, most important thing is to discuss with him, am I going to lose my loses their hair. So that's the very, very first thing that I want to share with you. Second is, whoever's going to be helping you in this journey, whether it's your spouse, your children, I call them beauty buddies, your BFF. For me, it was my cousin Lupe. She's an artist. I didn't want to share this with my family at the time. She was helping me with this because I was lost. Even though we've been in the wig business since I was 7, I didn't want them to know what I was going through. So I was here in Los Angeles, and I was talking to my cousin, and she just said to me, it's going to be okay. We're going to go look at wig stores. We're going to find someone with experience where you can try them on. And I would have never thought of any of that. I just couldn't think straight. So I always share with you, have a beauty buddy and write things down. Right? You know, I know we have our phones now, but a lot of times I have people that come in, they're ready for their fitting, they forget their phone. They're really, really nervous, and I understand that. They really can't even think about navigating through the phone. So I always just tell them, just jot things down, or have your beauty buddy jot things down for you so that you don't have to retain all that information, because you shouldn't have to. You can go back. This is going to be on the feed for days, for months. And it's going to be wonderful for you to suggest for other people to go back and look to view this Instagram. Also remember that we have an amazing YouTube channel with lots of different videos. Anything that you can think of that and if we haven't thought of it, please DM us so that we can take care of it. But there are videos on almost every question that we've had in one of our workshops, or that we've had someone send us. So going back to, we're going to start looking for a wig. First suggestion is, in your area, wherever you live, Google to see if there's an area where you can go in and try wigs on. I think this is probably one of the suggestions that I always hear people, well, we've gone to several places, we couldn't try them on. And it's because in some states you have to have a license to try wigs on. And in some salons, they prefer to be licensed, when I say licensed, I mean cosmetology license. And it's like a one-stop shop. They can help you try it on, they can help you style it to you, they can modify it for you if needed. Some people are skilled in tailoring the wig, the foundation underneath. So I always say look for a place near you, a wig shop slash can set you an appointment. When I say set an appointment, this is very important. If you walk into a busy, and they're just like salons, you walk into a place and you need help, they may not be able to help you. And I know it takes a lot of courage. I know it does. It takes a lot of courage to even get to the salon. So let's just go one step further and make an appointment. That way you're not disappointed if you get there, or if you've traveled from afar to the wig shop and you get there and number one, it's not open, and number two, there's no one that can help you at that specific time and you have to wait. These are just my suggestions, my experiences, because I am a wig wearer, and every city, state, country, wherever I'm at, I want to go to see the wigs that are available where I'm visiting. I call ahead just in case the place is closed. And second, I do want someone from that establishment to help me. Okay. Please have a photograph. If you have chosen to cut your hair already, please have a photograph of what you have in mind. Meaning, I want to look like I've looked, something very natural, close to my hair color, close to my hairstyle, close to my density, the amount of hair. If you want something that looks hair, which is beautiful, and I would suggest definitely have a photograph with you or on your phone. Second, if you've already shaved your hair and you're open to change, thank you, Suzette, for reminding me to share that it is very important to be open to change. I'm so used to change that I forget that it took me years. It took me a few years to embrace the fact that I was always going to I have bald spots, my hair has grown back, but I had to accept the fact as a hairstylist, artist, that I don't have hair that does what I would want it to do. This has nothing to do with treatment. This is my stomach problem. It's just baby hair, and I want beautiful hair because I do hair. So, a reminder that are with you, that are going to be with you at the wig store, or if they're going to be looking online with you, they need to be aware that you're okay with change. The reason I say that is I've been in appointments or been helping in a class, in a workshop, and the individual is completely open to change, and no one in their support system is open to change. Can't even speak to that. However, I can speak to the fact that they're telling you that they want change, and they definitely want to choose something different in color and style. So let's meet them halfway, please, and try to do that. That's just my suggestion as a friend. I would say, okay, I wasn't aware that you were open to something entirely different. And my mama, Bella, I asked her this morning, I said, what would be the one thing that you would share? One day I would love for her to go live, but she's just too shy. She's a wig specialist and has been for years. She said, always share that you have to be prepared, meaning if possible have more than one wig, because you never know what life's going to bring you that day. And number two, if you can be open to change and look for hair that you've always wanted, then look for that hair. That's what I did. When I lost my hair, I just thought, you know what, let me show you what I picked. I forget to tell you, Vedro, and Watermelon are. And, you know, I know pink is the color of the month. However, it's whatever color you want it to be. And you can wear pink today. You can wear pink tomorrow. You can wear pink every day of the month. It doesn't have to just be for October. That's another thing. I have a lot of cousins that have, they're survivors. And everyone has a different color. Sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's pink. I'm just super happy that they're surviving and enduring their treatments, and that we have a lot of help for them. Okay, so when I first lost my hair was really long and curly, and this is the cut that I picked. Just like a cute little bob, and realistically the bangs were up here. This actually has short bangs, but this is another tip. If you don't want them that short, you just pull them down without having to worry about them being too short, and it's still comfortable. You would never know. Okay, so this is something that my hair will never do. It doesn't have the texture, it doesn't have the density. So this is what I chose. While I talk to you about other things that are very, very important, I'm going to put on another piece that is, this is one piece that people always want to try on. This is one wig. This is from the Alexander Couture Collection in Bubblegum R. This is just a really cute short pixie. And I always say, don't be afraid of it, because when your hair grows back, you're going to go through this transition. As your hair is growing back, your hair will go through this length. Maybe not style and color, but it will go through this length. So let's just see what it feels like. And I really never want anyone to leave a workshop, or I don't ever want them to leave without trying something on that they see. It doesn't have to be yours, but please allow yourself the opportunity to try it on. Okay, check with your hairstylist. We're going to go back to appointment. Check with your hairstylist and see if they're available to join you. Maybe it needs to just be you and your hairstylist. See if they're available to go with you and pick the wig. This is something that a lot of people, I do see a lot of stylists coming in with their client / patient, because they've had the same hairstylist for years, and this is really wonderful for the hairstylist to have that opportunity as well. Okay, so again, thank you for joining us today. We are speaking to the journey of wigs. Specifically this month, we're talking about chemotherapy and how to make that transition to a wig easier. However, this is wonderful for anyone who needs help. And okay, so next I want to show you a few products that are very important in the event that you don't have a list, or maybe you just don't remember. You go into the salon, maybe they don't have as much experience. I just want to take the time to show you what I would want for you to know about. Okay, so we have René Paris wig grips. Okay, these come in different colors, taupe, lace. And I'm going to go back and show you what that is in the event that you've never seen one. So this is a velour band. Again, it comes in different colors. And there is a right and a wrong. So I know this is very basic, but keep in mind that for someone who's new to wigs, they have to know all this in order to feel comfortable and confident in their wig. And looking great does make you feel better. It really does. So when you go back with your fingers, you should feel like a buzz cut. That's the best way that people have understood. You go back. This is designed to keep your wig, to help you keep your wig in place in the event that you don't want to wear any type of pins. And second, it helps you it keeps the foundation from touching you in this area of the skin. And right here I have a wig liner, and that is round in form. And again, this is just my opinion, but these are probably the two accessories that I have really felt comfortable from the very beginning of my wig journey. These came out a few years ago, so obviously I haven't used it all the time, but since it did, this is definitely something that I would suggest if you're building your kit, if you will. You want to have a wide tooth comb. If you want to use a wig brush, this is the wig brush that I use. This one folds like this for easy keeping. I do keep a water bottle all the time. I keep a few hair bands for the longer wigs in a minute that I'm going to show you. And this is like almost 2 inches wide. I know that sounds funny, but it does matter the width of the rubber band. And these cloth bands that are wider. Whoops. Okay, I always look for clips. You know, if you've looked at my Instagram photos, I always wear clips. I have to make it fun, not only in the style and color. Ask, why do you wear pastels all the time? Because I work with a lot of children starting at age 7, anywhere from 7 to 87. And let me tell you what, the 7-year-olds and the 80 plus, 70 plus, they want color. They want fun color. I know this is hard sometimes for their children to hear, but I'm just telling you because my mom is close to 80, and my mom will not, and probably will not ever, wear gray hair. My mom wants fashion colored hair. She wants what's in, popular. That's my mom, and she's 80, almost 80. Okay, then we have Revive. This is a finishing aid. This is wonderful for, can you see that? I'm sorry. I'll post that on my, I'll post this on my personal Instagram at Texas Wig Fairy. Revive is going to be a wonderful product once we've chosen our wig to help us keep it clean, soft, and it's going to be wonderful if it's high. Okay, one of the things that I really feel, I teach a lot of workshops, I teach a lot of classes every week. One of the things that people really want is an implement when they have high heat wigs, or if they just want to have fun with their wigs. They want something that's safe, especially if they've never used any kind of implement. René Paris flat iron. René Paris flat iron. It was designed for synthetic wigs, and I myself, I know you don't, cover your ears, Aderans, I know you don't want to hear this, and it works just fine. It's going to work on every wig, but the wigs that I did use it on, it didn't damage. It has one temperature, and it's 240. Keep in mind, most wigs tell you that you can go hotter, but this is what I use to straighten my bangs, put a bump in my bangs. Okay, so we've talked photograph, make the appointment, find someone. The supplies that you might need. Okay, I think the hardest question is, do I cut my hair or do I leave my hair? I cannot answer that question. I've been asked this question hundreds of times and I cannot answer that. How I am going to answer it is, if you do go into a salon and you just are not sure what length to cut it to, I professional help you, because if you're using clippers and you decided to do this as you're doing something, you know, you're cutting your hair with your family, or your spouse is doing it for you, your children, you do want to be very careful that you do not nick your skin, because this nicking your skin, breaking the skin, can be very dangerous. Okay, so again, this is Vero in Watermelon R. Isn't this a beautiful combination of colors? And against this, it's one of my favorite pinks, if you will. Okay, so you've cut your hair and you're using the clipper and you're not really sure. I would suggest guard number 3. Ask your hairstylist to use guard number 3, or if you're doing this at home, use guard number 3. Please be careful. You never want to nick your skin with anything, bobby pins, clips, anything like that. So you hear me say that many times in my teachings and in my classes, because you do not want to nick your skin. Thank you for all of those who have joined. Please share this information if you have someone who is in your community and who really needs assistance in choosing a wig for the very first time. This month we're honoring Breast Health Awareness Month. However, this information is wonderful and perfect for anyone who's starting their journey. Okay, so decided if we're going to trim our hair or if we're going to leave it. I always say leave your hair, leave it alone and let it do what it's going to do, and wear wig liner over it. This is going to compress your hair, it's going to contain your hair, and if you feel like you perspire a lot, and I do, this helps. It just stops, it keeps the sweat, and I shampoo it and let it dry. I have several that way in the event that it doesn't dry quick enough. You know, I have a couple of them, and they're not expensive. And not all wig liners and wig caps are the same. This is René Paris, and again, not all the fabrics are the same, and these fabrics I feel comfortable with, and they feel really good against my skin. However, if you have a suggestion, you've tried something that has really been wonderful for you, please send us a DM. This is information that I would love to share in my classes. Sometimes we have 10 people, sometimes we have hundreds of people. So it's information that is going to get shared, and it is very valuable. Okay, when you go in to choose a wig, we've already established that we know color, we know density, we know style. We think we do until we walk into the wig store. I don't know how to explain it. For me, it was just like, I didn't know the possibilities. A lot of people have never even walked into a wig store, so they don't even know what to expect. And if you don't have a measuring tape and you don't know how to measure your head, do not panic. We have a video for that. If you want to go to YouTube, René Paris YouTube channel, there are many videos if you want to see the different cap constructions, how to measure your head. I wish I could go through all that today, but I just want to share with you, if you do not have a measuring tape, do not panic. Unless you feel like you're really petite, most people, even children, usually, most of the children that I've worked with fit into an average wig cap. It has stretch. It has stretch to it. Let me show you. If you've never seen a wig before, this is inside out. This is my Amore from the Alexander Couture Collection in bubblegum. Look at the stretch in this. Did you see that? It's what I call capless. These are wefts, and it's breathable. Here's the adjustments, and you can take these in, bringing them from here to the middle, and it makes the wig smaller. Them out, and it makes the wig larger. It's rare. It really is rare. I'm gonna say 9 out of 10, really 10 out of 10, but I'll say 9 out of 10 people fit into an average wig cap. Again, looking at this one. Again, this is Vero in Watermelon R. This has lace in the front and lace part, but I just want to show you all of these have stretch. Okay, so biggest decision you have to make is synthetic, high heat, or human hair. That has to be the biggest dilemma. Synthetic, high heat, or human hair. So synthetic, ready to wear hair, if you are not savvy with your hands, you don't like hair product, you don't want to go through this expense of getting extra products with high heat, synthetic is going to be the one suggestion that I would make for you. This is synthetic, ready to wear. This is out of the box. I just took these out of the box. They just sent them to me. Even if I sweat, if it's hot outside, if I've had a long day, it's gonna look like this. This is high heat, so eventually I can change the style. I can make it more curly. I can straighten it. However, it's ready to wear, meaning I can go into an establishment. I can pick this up that day. I don't have to wait weeks to have it made. I don't have to have my head measured. It doesn't have glue or clips. And when I tell you, I put on my Instagram, do I glue it? Because I wanted to, and I mean never, when you're under treatment of any kind, should you use glue or tape. It can be very dangerous. That was my experience. That's what we suggest in our classes. If you choose to do that, please be very careful, because it can cause no glue, no tape. It's going to stay here. It's going to stay with my band in place. And let me just do this really quickly so you can see. It's not going anywhere. Isn't this glamorous hair out of a box? Beautiful color. Like, this is the kind of hair you want, because you don't have to mess with it. Ready to wear hair is available. You can go to collections. You can see all the different colors this particular wig is available in. And then you can go through and look at all the different collections and all the different colors. And let me just tell you, 9 times out of 10, when I ask them again, okay, so you want to go with what your hair used to look like? They don't even remember what their hair used to look like. There's so many options, so many beautiful colors, and allow yourself to try something different. High heat. High heat. If you do not like styling your hair, if you will not ever curl it, if you will not ever go from straight to curly, curly to straight, if you do not want to ever change it, and you do not want to have to style it, restyle, maybe high heat is not for you. So this is something that you really have to think of. This is something that you really have to think of, like, do I want to be doing that? Do I not want to be doing that? Think of the element that you live in. If it's really humid and your hair softens, your natural hair softens, it rains a lot, again, it's really humid there, maybe high heat or human hair is not what you want. Okay? High heat mimics human hair, but you have the durability of synthetic. It's a wonderful product too, and we have a lot of beautiful high heat wigs. Let me just remind you, you can go to reneparis.com. There's a drop down, a search, and you just click on that, look for next style, and it'll ask you, like, by color, by style. Hit the drop down, and on the left side it's going to show you all the different wigs, colors that are available in certain wigs if you want to narrow it down. reneparis.com. Human hair. If you want human hair, we carry beautiful human hair wigs as well. Some people don't want to style them. They don't want them, if they go soft one day, or they don't want to restyle them. And they are a considered purchase, so they're a little bit more expensive. Maybe that is not the direction you want to go, but that's probably whenever you are considering your work is synthetic. Do I want it now? Human hair, do I have to wait? And do I want to work with it, or do I just want to take it out of the box and wear it? Okay, so I want to make sure. Wig construction is very, very important. I know I kind of skipped over that, but the reason I skipped over that is because I want you to go to René Paris, the YouTube channel, and I want you to look for, I've done a video, Abby's done a video, Alexander, everyone's perspective is going to be a little bit different. However, there is videos on cap constructions, and make sure you go view those before you decide what you want, what type of foundation you want. However, in my opinion, don't go searching everywhere, like all the different platforms, all the different people. Listen to yourself. Go to a specific website if you'd like, look through the wigs, or just start at a wig store. If you start trying to over research and over study everything, it gets very, very confusing when there's wonderful people that we've trained that sell wigs. I know these people have come through our class, and I know that they would just be so happy to just sit you down and make it a wonderful experience. This is what we train them to do. It's very, very important for you to have a good wig experience. And I know a lot of people across the United States that can help you with that. Okay, so don't make it hard for yourself. Okay, so we've gone over, I'm just going to look over my notes real quick before I show you my very, very fun wigs that, let me see how many minutes I have here. Okay, so I just want to take a few minutes to go over, okay, wig care. I'm going to go over the wig care. And if you need more specific information on products, make sure you go to, again, our Instagram or the YouTube channel and look for those. If you need a video on shampooing wigs, same thing. We have wonderful videos that are there all the time. Make sure you like, follow, share information. And if you're at a cancer center, which I am almost every week, share with your friends the information. Share with the people that you're meeting. Get knowledge from them. Share knowledge with them. Share what you've used. It doesn't have to just be in the wig journey. Like, someone shared a wonderful lotion with me yesterday. And yes, when you lose your hair, you do want to use a good lotion to keep your skin up here hydrated and soft. I mean, it's always good for me to know too. Let's go back to care. When you're shampooing your wig, I'm trying to find one that looks like, it's kind of hard to explain when a wig needs to be shampooed. I know we can go by the book, which is probably every 15 wearings, every 2 weeks. However, if you really haven't worn it much and it's not really dirty, doesn't have a, it doesn't smell bad, and that's the only way I can explain it, don't shampoo it. If you could have only worn it 4 times, you don't want to over shampoo it. So this one, if you look, see how right here it looks clumpy, separated, it doesn't have much movement. Over here, it's sticking together. Let me put it on so I can show you. And this was custom made, so I'm sorry. I always share this because this is the very first style I started with in a different color, but if you'll see, this doesn't move anymore. This is clumpy together. It's kind of stiff and stuck. Time to shampoo it. What I do is I take René Paris shampoo. I take my Revive. I do a Revive bath in cold water, meaning that I just get a little tub with cold water. I spray the wig all over after I've shampooed it with cold water. I always use cold water, and it's worked best for me. Squeeze all the water out of it. This has lace, so I don't want to spray this area. I spray Revive all the way around, spray it thoroughly. Then I lay it in the bath with water, so I call it a Revive bath, for like 30 minutes, 15 minutes on one side, 15 minutes on the other. I make sure the whole piece is really saturated and I got Revive through all the different fibers. And then I rinse, I'm sorry, the Revive I leave in there. So I'm just gonna squeeze all the water out. I kind of move the hair in the direction that I want it to dry in. So I'm gonna just hold this right here, and I would be combing it in the direction I want the bangs to dry in. And then I just leave it on a wig head. I leave it on a wig head or a wig stand. See my beautiful head? I leave it on this and let it completely air dry. I know this sounds funny, but this is very, very important. If you live somewhere hot, where it is very hot, it will dry overnight. If you don't live, you have to gauge how many hours it's going to take for it. So please keep that in mind. And when it is synthetic, you do not want to put it, don't laugh, I have seen people do this. You do not want to put it in the washer, and you do not want to put it in the dryer. Why this is happening? Because they hear from a lot of people that it's fabric, it's fibers, it's just like a sweater. It is made out of really fine fibers, but it's not, it doesn't have the durability of a sweater. So do not put it in the washer, and do not put it in the dryer, and do not use products that are not for wigs. Number one, super dry. And number two, if it's curly, it can pull the curl out of it and make it straight. I've seen it happen. Wigs for products are just they're not really expensive. Products for wigs are just about what you would be paying for pro products. Okay, so let's use products for wigs. They're formulated for the fiber, and most of these are going to be like your sprays and everything. They don't contain alcohol. Then you can put it back on. And if you don't like product, I'm just going to show you water, what I do with water. This is just water. You can just take it and separate it, and notice how I'm just using my fingers. As I'm doing this, I'm giving certain tips on putting it on. You want to make sure that you keep it at your hairline. You do not want your wig grip or wig cap to come down lower than the hairline of the wig. You want your ear tabs to be in this general area. In the back, important that you check with a mirror 360 to make sure that nothing is folded or tucked under. And in the back, you want to be right below the occipital bone, but not in the fold of the skin. So when you go back like this, it should not be in the fold of the skin. Very, very important, because a lot of times I've seen people say anything. I know that the wig is tucked back here, it's folded. The tag, I cut my tags out because I don't want my tags coming out on something this short. Very, very important to make sure that the wig is comfortable. When you move like this, it should be comfortable and not feel like it's going to come off. If not, you need to play with the adjustments. And before you take it off, try moving the adjustments with it on, please. Okay, I'm a little bit over, but I think we're good. I wanted to show you a couple wigs that have always been on the list for people when they come in and they see them wherever we're working, they want to try them on. So this is Angelica in a limited edition color. This is Bubblegum. bubble gum, and I have, you know, the curtain bang is really popular, and I always share. They would never know you're doing this. So I know you've seen on my Instagram that I have a curtain bang. The ear tabs are not right. They're a little offset, but I'm creating like a middle part. And then at home, before I wear it, I just take it and pin it with pins. This takes a little bit of heat, body heat, or you can use your flat iron if you want to create it quicker. But I spray it and then I just do this, and then when I let them down, it's like a curtain bang. Then if I want to go back to the part that it originally comes with, I just moved over back where it should be. My ear tabs are correct now. This is probably one of the most requested wigs in all colors. All colors, okay? So I'm gonna try to do a ponytail really quickly because this is probably the most requested video that I ever, and I want to just show you. I'm just pulling all the hair up. Takes a little bit of work to get used to. I'm gonna leave this down. Yeah, I think this is the #1 requested video in 7 years that I have on my Instagram. This is why I say it has to be 2 inches wide. Almost 2 inches wide. This is gonna be a messy bun. I don't have time to refine it because I feel like I'm over time. However, and it's really high. Look how high it is up here. Take it, go once. On the second, I don't go all the way through. This is a high bun. And then I just play with it and pull it forward a little bit. And in the salon, I honestly just use salon pins, but I'm just gonna pick a pin. But this is probably the most requested hairstyle that I've ever shared in my classes, Now back here, you just have to be careful that everything's tucked. The wig grip, make sure it's not. But you know, you may have to pull the hair down so that you don't see wefts. But check all your wefts. See how quick I did that? I didn't need a brush. I just did it with my hands. Isn't this gorgeous? Okay, so again, most requested style. All colors, but this is one of the faves, bubblegum. And then I keep it on a mannequin. You can do it if it's easier for you to do it on a mannequin and a stand, by all means. And then I keep her like this so that I don't have to keep doing it. However, I have one wig for just an updo. You don't want to leave her like this. You want to take the pin out. You want to take the rubber band out because you don't want the heat to cause like, what do you call them? Crimps. You don't want it to, or a curl pattern. You don't want that to happen. Second, this is probably, whoops, I forgot to cut this off. Well, we're just gonna have to leave it there. This is probably one of the most requested colors that they've seen on my. This is René Paris Silky Sleek. I'm sorry, Lux Sleek. I have so many. Lux Sleek. Oh my gosh, Dusty Rose. This is just gorgeous. I see how excited I get. And I've been wearing these years. Let me see. Let me try to hide this. I'm sorry. This is a beautiful color. Dusty Rose. Okay, so before you cut bangs into this, I have a lot of people that come, I just want to cut bangs into it. No, 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 no. Give yourself a few days. If you've never had bangs like this, how do you know that you're not going to fall in love with them? So what I do is I just take a large bobby pin. I'm sorry, let me get that. Okay, I use large bobby pins. They're easier. They have tips on them. The hair loss, you want to be very careful that you don't nick your skin with one that isn't sealed with plastic like that. I just take a little piece of this right here, loosely. See how I'm kind of pushing it up like this? And then I just put a pin. This is before you decide to cut bangs. Now if you just can't get used to having, this is just such a fabulous look now. You can tease it, kind of do bouffant flip. That's a big look right now. When we did wigs in Queens, New York and Manhattan just recently, this was it. This was a look. Different colors and, you know, height, a lot of height, and it just looked gorgeous. Again, this is something that a lot of our patients love, the style, love the density, and of course this is available in all colors. And when I share colored wigs with you, we picked pink for the year, any day, any color, any day. My goal today was to share with you very important tips that I have come across with women who are sitting in our class and they don't even know where to start. But please know that there are so many virtual classes available. There are virtual nails, wigs, skincare. And if you need that information, you can go to my personal Instagram at Texas Wig Fairy, and I always post who's teaching what. It may not be me, but I'm always going to post who's teaching what and where. And if you have that information, send it to me. So I hope I taught you something very practical. And if you ever need assistance, like I said, send us a DM. If I didn't cover something, I'm sorry. There's so much that I can share, but I do hope that you enjoyed it. And share the information with someone who really, really needs it, please, because it's very, always, always ask for help. When you need help doing something, not just the wig journey, if you need information and you just don't know where to go, ask for help. Really, I have been in and out of cancer centers for 32 years. There are many resources, many workshops, many people, many counselors, many navigators, many helpers. Please ask for help. And like I said, if you need more assistance or if you want us to go over a different topic, send us a DM at the René Paris Instagram and we will be glad to try to help you there.